What about those storms? They're going to make it to St. Pete?
Yeah, we had some stormy weather in Pinellas County earlier today, Pasco County as well. Not everybody saw it, but I know outside my house, I'm in Pinellas County, I heard the thunder. I know that it was close by, but it was just dry. You know, I was really hoping that we could get a good shower on top of my house because I know my grass is a little bit crunchy. But yeah, as we move into the rest of tonight, we're not done yet. We still have more storms working through the forecast. So I have the sensitivity turned up on reflectivity here, so you can see these faint lines. These are actually outflow boundaries from these storms. So watch this storm goes that way, but you get outflow from the storm. And what that does is it creates enough lift in the atmosphere for some storms to kind of fire up down the road. So those aren't storms that you're seeing there. It's just basically the wind, that outflow, and what it can do is create that lift. So we will see if we get some of those storms to bubble up. Here's another great example of it just south of Duet. That may fill in a little bit, and you may start to see those storms out to the east of where you're currently seeing them in Manatee and Sarasota County. Even though most of the storms, the direction of them are pulling up to the north, we may see some of this fill in right over here. So just pay attention to that. And of course, if there's ever lightning nearby, if you can see lightning or if you can hear thunder, you want to make sure you have a plan to be inside because lightning can strike from very far away. I know I deliver that message all the time, but it's true, and we want you safe. Futurecast moving into the next hour. Look, this is just a model, but it shows you how this tries to fill in across the east there. So across the interior, right where that boundary is, that's what that dashed line is showing you, that we have the sea breezes come together. You can even see the winds coming in from the northwest, and you also see those easterly winds right there. That's where we get the best convergence for those storms to bubble up. So that's why the models are saying, I think that the rain is going to be right here because it's just looking at those daily sea breezes. This is great because this is our pattern that we should be in. The last 2.5 weeks, we've been in a dominant westerly wind pattern. So what that has been doing is pushing the storms across the interior, really leaving those folks out in portions of Pasco, Pinellas, Hernando County, really missing out on the rain. That has started to change, and we will finally see that rainy pattern kind of get back to where it should be. Here we go into the rest of tonight. So that was the evening. This is tonight around 8:30 or so. The storms will start to drift, and it just did a little update on me, but they will start to try to drift back toward the coast. So pretty isolated, but the isolated ones we do have do bring a lot of rain in kind of one area because the winds are light enough. Some thunder, some lightning, and even some small hail at times. Temperatures right now, we have some upper 70s in places where it just rained. Brooksville, looking at you. 91 in Crystal River, as well as St. Petersburg. 98 in Riverview. A little bit dry out there, so it's warm. Frostproof, same situation. 97, 95 in Lakeland. I know it kind of bounced around there. 79 for tonight in Tampa. Again, we will have one more little quick pop of rain for some of you as we move into the nighttime hours, just like we saw last night between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. for those areas closer to the Gulf Coast. 93 for tomorrow. We're just below the threshold for any heat advisories. That's because the extra cloud cover as well as the better rain coverage. Here's the heat dome that we have been talking about a lot lately. This is moving into Wednesday, so that heat's going to stay on top of us. Doesn't really change the weather for us. What it does do is allow some storms to develop right along the perimeter of that ridge. So if you are making travel plans, Dave, looking at you, we have some heat that will be across the Northeast. A large part of the country will be dealing with hot temperatures. Here at home, it's just business as usual, right? Looking into National Hurricane Center, by the way, no updates there. Still 20% chance of development for that little system that's tagged out off the southeast coast in the Atlantic. 7-day forecast, not much change here. We have rain chances around 40-50%. Best chances tomorrow and Tuesday.
All right.